If I'm being honest, at the moment the atmosphere at the stadium has not improved.
The difference with the hybrid to the Emirates is that this stadium was really built more for corporate, I think.
Back in the day you used to have the terraces where you could stand up with your mates and be amongst your friends. Nowadays, sing a song, you're told to sit down.
It was so quiet.
According to the empty stadium today.
The atmosphere at the stadium needs help. Let's create 2 sections in this ground that their job is to sing, to get the, to get the place going.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. Arsenal Football Club, you've been dumped out of the Europa League in the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. A poor performance from Arsene Wenger, from the Arsenal players tonight, ending his reign with a whimper, but also in complete Wenger style of at least the last 12 to 14 years. We all know that. I'm joined by Adam from the 5th Official. We're going to review that entire game and the run. We're also going to touch on a few Wenger in Europe subjects as well. We've got a few polls for you to join in with us as well. Do us a massive favour though. Make sure you download the OneFootball app, title sponsors of the show. Massively important to us here that you get that done. We also want to hear from you. 0203 606 0315. We want to know from you tonight in terms of your disappointments of tonight, who you blame for this. You might just want to congratulate, whatever it is. You might want to be positive. You never quite know. But we've got 2 polls running for you as well. I'm going to ask Jay to get those up on the screen for me now. I'm going to show you those polls that are currently out. Sorry, mate? Oh, my phone's not linked. My phone's now being linked up. We'll do this. We'll get this done. Oh, it's just loading. We're going to get the polls up. The first poll, though, is basically, has Wenger been a disappointment as Arsenal manager? There are numerous options that you can pick. Just waiting for this phone to connect. It's like the answers are yes, only in Europe, no, and since 2000, yes, since 2004. So that's one of them. But my phone's not linking, and this is it's not good.
That's right.
But anyway,
What's the other one?
The other poll, I'll get the other poll up as well. So I've got 2 that are out there right now. I'll get the other one up for you now. The other one has been, Wi-Fi in here is really poor as well right now. This is what you don't need when you're live on the air.
It's all right.
You need it to work quick, but it ain't working. Actually, nothing's working.
Cool.
All right, I'm linked now. My phone's linked, but now I've got no Wi-Fi, so we can't get up on the screen. I can't remember what the second poll was. What was the second poll?
Who was the worst?
Oh, the worst performer tonight. That was it.
Who was the worst performer?
Me, for me, Ozil. All day long. He was absolutely invisible. You know, some players made mistakes on the ball, but at least they showed up and wanted the ball.
Yeah.
Like, Wenger, I don't know what Wenger sees in Ozil. It's why when he was linked with Man United, I had no real interest in him coming. Like, my mind was getting turned a bit because everyone was talking about how good he could be. But I was sitting there like, I call him a 2/3 player. 2/3 of the season, he's great. There's always that 1/3 of the year where he's just invisible. And do you know what? Since January, he's been invisible. He ain't done nothing. Polls up on the screen now. Hopefully we've got them working for you. There we go. Bellerin's currently winning that poll. Wow. 2,800 votes.
Already?
The phone's not linked again. No, it is linked. Well, it says it's linked on my screen. Either way. There we go. You can check out my Twitter at TerryFluidsTFT. I've done that. I've unlinked it and linked it again. Is that working? Oh, it's working! Eureka! Thanks, Jay. It's nothing like a technical problem when you're live on the air in front of I don't know how many thousands of people.
It don't even matter. It's like you're in your bedroom. Don't worry about it.
It's like I'm in my bedroom. My bedroom ain't this cool. My bedroom's boring. Let's look at the other poll as well. Has Wenger been a disappointment? Look at that. 23% say yes, he has. That's almost a quarter.
What, just
of
a
people.
straight yes?
A straight yes. 41% of people since 2004 think he's been a failure. Only 17% say not at all. It literally, that's 17% of Arsenal fans or football fans out there still don't think he has been a disappointment. But the rest of them, only in Europe, yes, and since 2004. That's a huge percentage of the fan base that are unhappy with Wenger.
That is. But
huge.
I think with that, the only way you can really judge whether he was a failure is if you're looking at what he was initially brought in to do. 22 years ago, I was only flipping 4, so I don't know what he was brought in to do at the time.
Yeah.
If it was to win a league title, if it was to wrestle some power from Manchester United and the other big boys at the time, then he has done that. So I suppose you could argue he's a success. But to say no since 2004 is a bit misleading, because you have to look at his entire tenure as manager, which includes post 2004 and before.
Yeah,
so you can't just look at.
Yeah, I think if I was to vote on that, which I did, I've kind of put since 2004 he's been a disappointment. I think prior to that he was a very good manager. I still don't put Arsene Wenger into that category of being a great manager, because for me my definition is you've got to have won back-to-back league titles and a Champions League.
It does feel kind of weird when people mention him like among the Fergusons, the Peps. Like it really doesn't sit right with me. But then all of the stuff that people were writing about him, I saw some fantastic words written about him once he announced his retirement, and it made me think, was Wenger really this good? Did people really revere him this highly?
He was up until about 2004, and then he won off the boil. But you have this in all walks of life. I think you have it whether in business, education. You have it within sports, certainly, whether that's been a coach or a player itself. Let's take this call. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Yo, I got a willy. I want to fuck your bitch. I got a big dick.
Yeah, the only thing that man's having sex with is his wet tube sock. That is going to be it, bruv. That his mum's going to have to clean in the morning in the washing machine. That's it. We've got a few things for you tonight, though. We want to speak to you about whether you think Wenger has been a disappointment as Arsenal manager. We're also going to speak to you about the performers tonight, the players tonight on the pitch, where it went right or wrong. But also, because that's it now. Wenger's leadership has ended. There's 2 or 3 more games, but they're nothing games. The competitive football is now over for Wenger. Yeah. So we want to ask you this question. Tonight being included in that, we want to know from you. We're going to get Adam first on this, but what has been your most disappointing moment under Arsene Wenger? It could be a bad transfer. It could be something he said stupid in the press conferences. Most of you will probably pick games and events. So I'm going to go to you first, Adam, on this before we take any calls. What's been you look at tonight, the Champions League final? What's been your most disappointing moment? The moment that embarrassed you and infuriated you the most as an Arsenal fan?
For me, there's 2 of them. The first one is losing 8-2 to Manchester United, because even now people say, "Oh, I'd 8-2 lose to it's just a joke." The fact that Andre Santos in that game tried to swap shirts with Van Persie at half time, the whole game was just a mess. I was on holiday at the time, and it ruined my entire holiday. It was terrible.
I'll tell you a funny story about that game. I was watching that game at home, and I live with my mate Phil. Mr. Green, if you're watching, sorry brother about tonight. Big Arsenal fan, we live together. And I remember he took his shirt off, right, when I think like the 6th, 7th goal went in. And he took it into the kitchen and he just slammed it in the bin. He just walked around the house with his shirt off. And I was like, I felt bad. I got it out the bin and then he grabbed it off me and he just threw it into the garden. So I went into the garden, right, and I was laughing away. And I had my, the fences were quite low.
Yeah.
So I was picking this up laughing. And I heard some bloke 4 or 5 gardens down. Basically, I'm not going to use the choice language that he chose. But he was like, I can hear some mank see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Laughing at Arsenal, and he shouted at me. I shouted back saying, "Why are you giving it the big?" And he went, "Meet me outside." And I thought, "All right, I will." I walked out the front of my house, he went out the front of his. The closer he got to me, I'm 5'10", 5'9". I say 5'10" on paper.
Yeah.
The closer he got, I realised this guy was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". He was 6'5" and built like this. And the closer he got to me, I was like, "Oh, I'm in so much trouble." But then he went the other way. He was kind of like, I can't really hit him. He's little. Do you know what I mean? And then we ended up having a beer that night. He came in my house. We had a drink. Phil eventually calmed down. And me and this guy ended up drinking till like 2 or 3 in the morning. But that was when I started to really see Arsenal fans turning on Wenger.
Yeah.
There was already some that wanted him out. But those moments there, people were just like, we can't have this at our great football club. But look, we're ready to take your calls, your worst moments. And has Wenger been a disappointment? That's what we want to know from you guys tonight. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name is Gregory.
Gregory. You sound like a gooner.
Yeah, I am still.
Mate, still, I'm glad you're still one. You can't change teams. I mean, what's going on in your mind, bruv? How are you feeling right now? Another disappointing display. What's going on?
Gregory.
I'm deflated. Oh my god! But the thing is, it's the same old, same old.
Yeah.
It's the same old things from Arsenal. I think you asked the question, which was, what's my most disappointing Arsenal moment? And I've got two. Like Adam as well. The Andre Santos, when we lost 8-2 to Man United, that made me feel sick. But apart from that, the first one was losing to Birmingham. That was a shambles.
Oh, the League Cup final.
Yeah, again, the Koscielny at fault. And then my second one was the transfer window where Wenger explicitly said we would not be selling our best players. And then, like a week or two later, he sold Nasri and Fabregas. So yeah, those are my two worst Arsenal moments.
Yeah, and the reason I want to do this, I know he's got some fans out there, but I've been a little bit disappointed with the Wenger love in the last. I know they want to say goodbye to him on the last game at the Emirates. They'll say thank you for everything he's done.
He can get the hell out of it. Like I'm not being funny or anything. The performance tonight was just lackluster. I mean, look at Liverpool the other night against Roma, the first leg. They went out there all guns blazing. They knew they had to score. They scored goals. We didn't even look like we were going to score.
Mate, Gregory, I want to ask you this. We spoke about it at half-time. You had all these players, past and present, but I'm looking at the men that are in that dressing room right now with Wenger. They were waxing lyrical about him. They were praising him. They were making the guy... I mean, this is how crazy everybody went when he announced he's leaving Arsenal. They were like articles saying that, you know, he's the best mixtures of Pep and Fergie and Jose all rolled in one. The players were talking about him like he was Moses and Jesus all rolled into one. If they love him that much, those players, where was that fight tonight? Where was that sort of gut-wrenching performance? Where was that energy, that enthusiasm from those professionally paid footballers that love Arsene Wenger in his last competitive game that actually means something? Where were they tonight, Gregory?
If I'm honest, I don't see them. Can you name me? Can you name me one player that you think has got the balls to play for our club? I mean, because I don't see anybody on the pitch. I mean, I hear from Jack Wilshere, you know, rolling his sleeves up, this, that, and the third, but I don't really see the desire from anybody. I don't see anybody shy. I don't see anybody raising their voice, telling this person to get into position. It's just so flat. Like, it's I don't really. I mean, we've got a new manager coming in, hopefully, or a new team coming in, and I don't see what can be done to motivate these players apart from just get rid of all of them. I know that's probably impossible, but I can't see anybody standing up for the team. Like it's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke.
Right, Gregory, really good point. We'll crack on with talking about that as we move forward.
Don't forget barking, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He ain't called Gregory, is he?
Huh?
Is he really called
No,
Gregory?
of course his name's not Gregory.
You know if someone gives a fake name is when they go, "What's your name?" And you always know if someone's lying to you about the name when they go, who has to think about their name?
It's true.
Like there's a guy, if you're from East London, you'll know this guy is. He's called Columbo. He's a tramp, right? We all know him. He lives on the street. If you're from like sort of the Stratford, Leytonstone area, you know who Columbo is. That guy hasn't been sane for 20 years. But you say, "What's your name?" He goes, "Columbo." He answers you straight away. So when a man phones up and he can't say his name, he goes, we know it's a fake name. You obviously one of your friends. But look, we want more calls. But I think a new manager will raise some of those players up. I actually think that the club has become, and I go back to Oxlade-Chamberlain and Alexis Sanchez.
Don't.
But you've got to keep going back to the same points and drumming them into people. We'll touch on that after this call. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
1 second, Terry. It's me trying to get through Claude.
That's Jay. He's the control guy.
Go. He's there. It's Claude now.
Oh, Claude. Claude.
Hello?
Hey.
How you doing, mate?
Hello, Phil. Not good, mate. Gutted, mate. Absolutely gutted.
Yeah, I bet you. What was wrong with the
No,
performance
I'm
tonight?
watching it here with Sonny, actually. I'm just sitting here watching it with Sonny.
Sonny.
I don't know what to make of it. It's 2 errors in 2 games that's cost us the time, mate. But to be honest with you, we just huffed and puffed. We didn't really have any cutting edge, did we, at all? And we didn't deserve. I don't think we deserved it, really. I mean, Robbie Savage is saying we deserve it. We deserve more out of the game. I don't know. I must be watching it for.
Yeah. Do you know what, Claude? What we're going to try and do, Jay, can you try and get him back on a better line? It's really difficult to understand what he was saying there. It'll be even worse through the things. A few comments coming through here. People saying, "I know who Columbo is." A few people saying they used to live in Leytonstone. That's where I'm from. I'm from Leytonstone. Leytonstone boy sitting here. All right, cool. Cheers, Jay. I'm going to have to call Claude. I'll give Claude a call back in just a moment. But look,
put the number on the screen.
I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. So do you I'll leave you answering this question for the viewers while I call Claude. But do you think, when you look at Bellerin, when you look at Ozil, do you think a new manager could raise their game, could get more out of them than Wenger is? And they could go back to being those top players that everybody believed they were?
Definitely at Ozil, because you see the way he performs for, I was going to say Brazil, for Germany. And he even plays in a different position. He plays out wide on the left, and he is an integral part of that team.
Yep.
There is no way Germany are not going to take Ozil. There's no way he's not going to perform. But then you look at some of the others, and you're not really too sure. Is Allegri, if he were to come in, gonna look at Mustafi and think, yeah, you're gonna be the bedrock of my defense? No way. Not in a million years.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know. Maybe not Mustafi. Mustafi ain't. I mean, why you bought him in the first place? Oh, it's ringing. Claude's phone's ringing, everyone. Let's get Claude on the air.
Hello?
Hello, mate. Yeah, that's a better line. We could barely hear you before. Yeah, what were you saying?
I'm saying that it's two bad areas in both games. It's cost us the tie, but we had no cutting edge, did we? We overplayed it sometimes. We weren't good enough at the end of the day.
But, you know what? We have to. Sorry, I am sorry to cut Claude off. Claude is a legend, but that sounds like the phone breaking up, or he's crying his eyes out. That's all I can hear.
He's not going to be happy.
Jay, I can't help the bad quality of the line. I'm not BT. Jay, send some more calls through. I want to hear from some Gooners. I want to hear what Gooners are saying. Let's get them on. Let's do some quick fire calls.
No. So yeah. No. Do you think?
What? I did. Oh, there we go. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Alright, mate. It's Ronan here.
Hello, Ronan.
Yeah, Scottish Gunner here.
Good. Tell us what's on your mind after that disappointing performance.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I feel at some parts the team played well, and in other parts it was bipolar, to say the least.
Bipolar? Why?
Well, because I'm disappointed in it, and I'm not disappointed. I feel some players did play their part, but at the same time, I feel it's the same old Arsenal way, and they've let a lot of people down today, and the way they did.
So I want to ask you this question. I mean, on that being disappointed, I don't know why Arsenal fans had their hopes up. You're playing Atletico Madrid, who've been second in La Liga.
I didn't have my hopes up.
Then why are you disappointed?
Because you still need to expect more from Arsenal. You still have that hope, as every Arsenal fan has. You still have that hope.
I get what
that expectation of it, that they can pull off more, and everyone did. Everyone went into this game thinking that there was more.
Do you know what it is? I saw Arsenal fans get like this after winning a few games around November, December time. I think this has happened because it's like, oh, there'll be an uplift because Wenger's leaving. For me, Wenger had lost that dressing room a long time ago. I never saw them winning it. I kind of just envisioned this. What's happened tonight? I was like, it's just Arsenal. I don't get. I understand why as fans you're disappointed, but I hope there wasn't any expectation, because for me, Wenger has been stale for a long time. The team's been dead for a long time, and I want to hear from Gooners. I want to hear why you're so disappointed if you really are.
I get what you're saying though, because I think coming into it, everyone was saying that we could actually beat Atletico. I think it's a combination of the fact that Arsenal have given us little dribs and drabs. We've won 3 FA Cups in the last 4 years. And so it's like, oh my gosh, Arsenal can actually do it. It's made us think that we're a cup team. Manchester United won the Europa League last year, so everyone thought, okay, Arsenal are in it. This means that they're going to win it. And then the combination of Wenger leaving as well. I think all of those things made Arsenal fans think, yeah this is definitely going to be our thing to win. But no. I just couldn't see it myself. We're going to get the Twitter polls put back up on the screen before we take more calls. 11,600 votes. It is blowing up. My notifications are going mad for has Wenger been a disappointment as Arsenal manager? Oh, my phone's disconnected again. This technology. When you lock it.
I didn't lock the phone. My phone doesn't lock.
What, man?
Is it? It's just.
It's coming.
This is just. I'm going to break my phone.
Who was winning? Who was winning?
Since 2004 was winning by a long way. It's not linking again, Jay. Okay, 40. People keep phoning on WhatsApp. Yeah, don't phone on WhatsApp. Phone the landline number, which is 0203 606 0315. A few people here saying, I'm so disappointed in the comments. Lone Star 94. Why are you disappointed? You only get disappointed in life when you create unrealistic expectations. How can you have unrealistic expectations like winning the Europa League when you have Arsene Wenger, a man who has made, 80-90% of Gooners want him out because of how bad he has been for over a decade? Why have you got expectations of winning things? That's why winning the FA Cup last year was so magical, because none of you expected to do it. If you'd have gone into that game against Chelsea thinking you were going to win, no one did. That's what you should have done. You should have gone into this game we're going to get spanked. At least losing 1-0 would have seemed a slight positive. But for some delusional reason, because the newspapers wrote all these lovely stories about Wenger and what a wonderful man he is because he introduced good food into football. Because of these stories and because of the tweets and because of the Instagram posts from your beloved players who put no work ethic in for their manager for years as a collective, because they said nice things about him, you got suckered in, you got indoctrinated again, and you started to believe in Arsene Wenger and Arsenal again. Utterly ridiculous notion. You're only disappointed because of yourself. Bah! Sheep. I'm just barring like a sheep now. Sheep! Suckered in by the Sorry.
You just bark like a sheep. What's wrong with you?
That's how I feel.
What relevance did that even have?
Sheep.
Why did you just bark like a sheep? What's wrong with you, Terry?
Sheep.
Oh my God.
Because they're sheep. Dude, I'm going to have to listen to that back now myself. Sorry.
Wait.
You're only disappointed because of yourself. I know why I did it. It was saying you're sheep.
It doesn't make any sense.
It does. It means you're a sheep. You're just following what everyone else is doing. It means you're a sheep. It makes sense.
But you didn't need to do the sound effect. Oh my days.
I don't even know why.
That's ridiculous.
I'm laughing like it weren't me. Like an out-of-body experience. We've got a super chat from someone called Brent. Oh, hang on a minute. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. I'm Terry Flewers. What's your name?
My name's Benji.
Hello, Benji. Who do you support, bruv?
I support Arsenal, man. Nah, but listen. I want to talk about how you're saying that we've got, unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
It's really because, think about Wilshere, what he can do. Ramsey, what he can do. We've got Lacazette, Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
We've got players, good players on the pitch who can play.
You've got quality players on the pitch that are sitting, where in the league? Is it 6th?
Yeah, but you can't say that's unreal expectations. You're even just calling quality players.
Yeah, because the manager has systematically drained the life and soul and ability out of those players. That's why you've all been chanting and having protests and flying aeroplanes over the Emirates to get him out. Why would you suddenly, because he's leaving, expect the players to go, oh, now we're going to perform for our manager because he's leaving? No, he lost the dressing room. So if you're really disappointed, it's because you've set yourself up for failure, mate. And I get why you're disappointed, but it's crazy, bruv. You've got quality players in that dressing room that a good current manager will get class out of. If you put Pep in as your manager now, Guardiola is your manager, Jose is your manager. If you brought Fergie out of retirement, he'd get more out of them boys. Every single one of them.
But seriously, I just think you don't like Arsenal, man. But I feel like the team, they should have won the game. Think of the Lacazette, Mkhitaryan.
Why?
Wenger, he is a problem. They should have made more substitutes. One substitute when he has 3 options.
Yeah.
You understand? That's disappointing as well because we're losing and he's not making a change.
So let me ask you. You're saying that we have quality players. Did you actually expect us to beat Atletico? I think I was probably one of the only Arsenal fans that didn't expect to beat Atletico Madrid comfortably. Everyone else seemed to think that we would roll them over. Do you really think that we're better?
Do you think what's seriously disappointing is that I expected a better game. Overall, I did expect a better fight. Even if we lost in extra time, would have been more satisfying than the 1-0. We took 2-3 shots. Didn't look very attacking. That was the problem with the game.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And why it was so sad. The way we lost is they actually locked us off.
Yeah, I get that, mate. I want to ask you that question. We've asked a few callers so far. Tonight was a disappointment. What's been your biggest disappointment under Arsene Wenger?
My biggest, he's not getting the full potential out of the players. I want to see Lacazette scoring. I want to see Mkhitaryan with the assist. I want to see Wilshere dribbling, everything. But
they're not doing it. That's my biggest. That's what I'm. You know, you want to say you're always hoping that they're going to do it, but they don't.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But okay.
I totally get you. I really, really do. Cheers, mate. Really do appreciate your call. Jay, just someone in the control room. There's been a super chat from someone called Jackson. Can we get that guy blocked, please? Yeah, let's get that blocked. Loomis, if you're watching, get that MF blocked. I was going to swear then. I thought I would stoop to their levels. Because there's funny, and then there's just being a dick.
Yeah.
That ain't funny. There we go. But I get the man's point. By the way, I think he kind of said I just don't like Arsenal. I think I'm more passionate about Arsenal Football Club than a lot of Gooners have been. Yeah. I don't hate the club.
No, I've realised you don't like. It's not that you don't like Arsenal. You just hate Arsene Wenger.
I don't like what he's done to the club. The man stayed on too long. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. But some people that defend him, it's like you know, you get like a guy and he's been with his woman for 20 years. And then married, but she's been cheating on him for like 10 years. Everybody knows it, but the man still defends her. Oh, it's because she had a hard day at work, or oh, it's because like, I burnt the toast. Like, there's always an excuse. It's like, nah, the guy's been the main part of the rot within your club for a long, long time, and that doesn't mean he hasn't done great things. I'm not trying to undo his legacy. I just don't like this nonsense surrounding him, especially since he said he was leaving. Everyone's like, oh, let's be nice to him now. Yeah. Why? Yeah, Why change your tune? On his last day, be nice to him, celebrate him afterwards. But right now, he's still like today, messed up your chances of winning another European trophy.
It's a good analogy, Terry. It's almost as good as...
Yeah, one of them ones. What is this noise in my ears, Jay? It sounds like someone blowing into like a glass bottle. I hear... Man, it sounds like that. Jay, is my phone connected?
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Damn technology. But these polls are going crazy. So I'll read these polls out to you in case it's not connected. So, who has been the biggest flop in an Arsenal shirt today? Nearly 14,000 votes. Bellerin leading the way with 42%, followed by Ozil on 35%, Welbeck on 14%, Jackie Wilshere sitting on a 9% of the vote. I thought Jack Wilshere was awful today.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I'm not saying he's a great player. I know he's a great player, but he was awful today. Ozil disappointed me. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like, that guy should just join Marvel. Is it DC or Marvel with the Mr. Invisible?
Don't know.
Someone out there who watches comic or reads comic books will know that's where he should be. That's where that man should be. And then the other poll, let's have a little look at that. 13,000 votes. Has Wenger been a disappointment as Arsenal manager? 44% say yes since 2004. 22% in second place say yes completely overall. That's over 1 in 5 Arsenal fans here.
Yeah.
That's quite a good poll size, 13,000. Been a disappointment. 17% have said only in Europe. And 17% say not at all. What's interesting is he has been disappointed in Europe. I would have expected that to have been the higher percentage. Because he has won Premier Leagues and FA Cups. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello, mate. I'm Nick.
Hello, Nick. You a gooner?
Yeah, I am, unfortunately.
God, we don't have to talk about tonight. Who's the worst performer on the pitch tonight for you?
I think I would say it's a combination of Bellerin and Monreal. The balls into the box. Compared to the last time we played him was just abysmal.
Oh, yeah, especially that one right at the death from Monreal. I don't even know what he was doing.
Just have a bit of composure with yourself. You're meant to be a professional football player. Like, it's so frustrating.
That's what he's paid for.
And last competitive game really for Arsenal today, like with Wenger, because I know the Premier League games won't mean much. Are you a gooner that's glad to see the back of him, or are you still feeling sort of that sadness that many were a couple of weeks ago?
I mean, I've wanted him gone for years now. I'm not going to lie about it, but I did feel like the boys would step up for Arsene Wenger, just because it is his last couple of games. But obviously they can't do it for him, so it is time for him to go. I mean, obviously I'm grateful for what he did at the start, but you can't warrant staying in the club for 22 years if you're not meeting the standards that you set at the beginning.
It's true. Yeah. I said it to a Tottenham fan today at work. I was like, he can't trade on past glories, and that's exactly what he's been doing for ages. And winning FA Cups, considering the bar that he set right at the beginning of his tenure, winning FA Cups just doesn't compare.
He's basically Chesney Hawkes, isn't he?
Who's that?
You don't know who Chesney Hawkes is?
Who's that?
He has a song, a one-hit wonder called I Am the One and Only. So he had that one, like Wenger, he's had like 1 or 2 great hits early on in his career, and since then every album has been awful. But he's still dining out on those greatest hits from the beginning of his career. That's what I feel like with Wenger.
Wow, what 2 good analogies.
I know, bruv. I know, man. It's what I do. No, I'm joking. We're having a bit of fun tonight, though, as well. We want to know your most disappointing moment. In a couple of weeks, I think we'll do some nice stuff about Wenger. But tonight, I feel like bashing him a little bit, right? What's been your most disappointing memory as Wenger as your manager?
I mean, it's been brought up previously. I recently had just got with a bird, and she was not a football follower. And I took her down to Old Trafford. And I was trying to convince her to be an Arsenal fan, and we got smashed 8-2. So, it didn't go down too well.
Oh, what? Are you still with the young lady?
Yeah, I'm still with her. She
mate, well, at least someone got smashed. Hey, on the right end. Sorry, it's bad. No offence. Yeah. Shit, you listening? Stop. Sorry, mate. Well, fair. Is she an Arsenal fan now, though?
No. She's bored of it. She doesn't entertain anymore.
What would have been a great story if you'd have said she started supporting Man United after that game? That would have been...
Yeah, can you imagine? I think the relationship would have ended there.
Love that.
There we go. No, mate, really do appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, mate. By the way, what was the score in the other game? I know that Salzburg were coming back into it. Let's go and have a little check-up here on the old OneFootball app. Remember, you can download that in the description below. Let's go to matches. All matches today. Jesus Christ, where's it gone? Oh, I can't find it. I don't think... today. It's not on there.
Nah, you just have to flipping...
So there's so many... Do you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else and find it, just because it...
I am the one and only.
Can't take that away from me. Oh, sorry, I was too late for that one. Hello? No one's there.
Don't worry about it.
You lot are chatting. Some people are getting very angry on here. Big shout out to...
Roy the boy.
Roy the boy.
No,
yeah,
that's on your channel.
Yeah, big shout out to Roy the boy. Big shout out to Adam Smith, Daniel Ross, David. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to everyone out there who's watching. I've got a few people texting me as well. Like, my friends actually love Arsenal Fan TV. None of them even support Arsenal. They say it's their favourite time of the week when this happens. Europa League game. Oh, Marseille banged in a winner. They scored a goal in extra time. Rolando. Not Ronaldo, Rolando, in case anyone misreads that. There we go. We got any more calls, Jay? Let's do it. Let's get these calls on. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Blaine.
What's your name?
Blaine.
Blaine.
David Blaine.
David. Yeah. What's on your mind, mate? You a gooner? You upset? You happy? Or what's going on?
Oh, but let's not talk about how we played this evening, right? Let's talk about the contract renewal of Wilshere.
All right, go on.
Go on, then.
Do you think he should renew his contract, or let's let him go and let's hopefully bring in a good player?
So the fact that you said that makes me think you don't think he is a good player. There's this myth that's been built up about Jack Wilshere that says that he is like one of the only England players or one of the only players that can do things on the ball that others can't. What that is, I'm not entirely sure, because again, he's another player that I think has been trading on past glories. That one performance he had at the Emirates against Barcelona, I think everyone has got that stuck in their mind. I've not seen anything like that from Jack Wilshere in years. He went to Bournemouth. For me, that's a loan move that didn't work out for him. And so I still would like, because he's come through the whole system, I would love for the new manager to bring him in, rough him up a little bit and get the best out of him. Do I think that that's likely to happen? No. But would I like it to happen? Yes.
My mindset's a little different, and we'll come back to you in a sec. Mine's very simple. I think he's a very good football player. I'd say I'm a bit more complimentary of his abilities than maybe Adam is. I've seen more from him. However, I wouldn't sign him because you can't guarantee he's going to be fit. So that would be my biggest thing. It's like, people ask me as a Man United fan, would you like him at your club? My answer would be no, because you might have him for one good year, and then he might be on the injury bench for 2.5 years. So I wouldn't sign him for that reason only. How about yourself? What do you think, mate?
I was thinking basically the same as you. I mean, he has some good games where I think, wow, he's quality. We're so lucky to have him. But then I think some games, I think he's not even good enough to play for Burnley.
I hear that.
But yeah, I don't know.
So if you know what, part of it I think is him as well, because he's seen Ozil sign the contract. And it made me think, well, if Jack Wilshere has seen Ozil sign, he knows that Wenger's leaving. Why has he not done it? I think he's waiting to see who the next manager is going to be before he signs on the dotted line, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
How long has he got left?
He's run out already.
Oh, it runs out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it'll be all right. He'll probably sign on a free for Stoke.
You think that's his level?
Yeah. Push.
Yeah, no, he'll go to a decent club. I actually think Jack Wilshere is probably better suited to European football.
Yeah.
I think not as physical as the Premier League.
It's a
little bit slower pace. His body wouldn't break down as much, and they play more intricate football, and that's what he's very, very good at. So we'll see what happens. But a couple of years ago, he was very close to joining City. A couple of years ago, but I don't know. I think it's his injuries. I don't think if you're going to pay a man £100,000 a week, and to be one of your linchpin midfielders, you need him available for 80-90% of games, and you can't guarantee that with young Jack. You really can't. Mate, really appreciate your call. Thank you very much, as ever. More calls, Jay. Let's get these calls through. Sending them through.
I don't know.
You're right. Seems sad. Yeah, cool, but you have to send the calls through first.
I feel like people really get enjoyment from Arsenal.
Yeah, they do.
Crazy.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
James.
Hello, James. Do us a favour. Can you turn your device down?
As ever. More calls, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah?
What's on your mind, mate? What you got to say?
Giroud.
Giroud?
Yeah, we were missing him tonight.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. Why do you think, though?
All the crosses that Lacazette's not tall enough.
Yeah.
In all fairness, those crosses tonight, you wouldn't have been tall enough if you had the Jolly Green Giant out there. They were awful.
And maybe a Walcott would have been useful.
What, to hit them? What? How?
To cross the ball.
On his day.
On his day.
Oh, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, but how often did you get those days from Theo with his good crossing?
Once every 2 years.
Oh, and today might have been his one day.
Who knows?
Who knows? I think you're drunk, bruv. Take care. Good night. Let's get some more calls through, Jay. Sorry, but if you guys are going to chat, he was going to say bring back Emmanuel Petit next. You know what I mean?
I think he's a troll.
He's a Spurs fan. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello, hi there. I've just been listening to your FanPark, and I really love listening to it. I'm actually a Man United fan, and I just wanted to say that, you know what, it's been the rivalry between Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson has been great over the years. These two managers have made the Premier League of what it is today. But it's just been really sad to see how I mean, if you compare Wenger's last big game to Sir Alex Ferguson's last big game, which was him winning the league in 2012, it's just really sad to see him go off that way. To see how the players were not up for it, didn't play for the club, didn't play for the pride.
Why do you use the word sad? What is it about? Why is it sad?
I think don't get me wrong, being a Man United fan, I have a lot of respect for what Wenger has done for the club itself. Yeah, I mean, the last 10 years, say for the last 10 years, yeah, it hasn't been as good. But Arsenal wouldn't have had that great stadium of what they have today because of Wenger. I mean, a lot of great players, what they have in their team right now, such as Ozil, and you've got the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang, they probably wouldn't have come over to this.
If they hadn't had Wenger there, they'd probably have more. Because they'd have spent more money. Look, I appreciate your call, I really, really do. Thank you for coming in, but the word sad bothers me. Because the reason it's ended like this is because Wenger kept himself there too long. He did that to himself. This isn't like a tragedy that's happened. It isn't like it's 2005. He's saying he's retiring and he gets to a Champions League final and loses it in the last minute. You'd say that's sad. This is a man that should have gone 10 years ago.
I think it's... Wow. That's the same guy. Anyway, yeah, I think it's a... Wow. Jesus.
At least to get money for it.
I think it's a little bit different because you're a Man United fan. It is kind of weird that a Man United fan is saying that it's sad. But, yeah, man.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live.
Hello?
Hello, mate. What do you want to say?
I just want to talk about Bellerin and stuff.
Go for it.
I don't know what it is about Bellerin, but he just seems to be quite slow. He doesn't seem to react very well to the situation. I think he should leave.
You mean like he doesn't smell danger? He doesn't anticipate it?
I don't know what it is about him. I mean, I watched the game, and he just really doesn't seem to understand what he's doing. Ever since he's got that haircut, I mean, he's just lost it completely.
Yeah, that model trim. You know what? I wanted to talk about him at half-time, actually, because I think he is a player that is completely devoid of confidence. Like, there were a couple of instances in the first half where he could have taken on his opposing player. He could have brought the ball forward a little bit, but he just didn't. He passed it sideways. And I think a player full of confidence would have driven the team forward, would have taken the game to the opposition, and he just didn't do it because he's completely lacking that.
He should leave. I mean, I know he didn't play today, but Iwobi as well. I can't stand him.
You think Iwobi should leave?
Yeah, Iwobi and Bellerin should both leave. Mavropanos, the Greek guy from last week, why didn't he play?
That is a good question. That's a very good question.
What I couldn't see what was wrong with him. He would have bullied Costa right through.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why...
Who would have bullied Costa?
Mavropanos.
The guy who's had one game?
Yeah.
I mean, he has had one game, but you saw him. He played well against Lukaku. I couldn't see Costa doing much against Mavropanos.
Bear in mind, Lukaku didn't come off in the first half.
Where was Maitland-Niles?
Yeah, I get that. I've seen a few people tweet about that youngster playing, but maybe he'd have done well. But I don't know. You know, it's a tough one for me. But he certainly looked talented against Man United the other day. Look, I get everybody's points here. There are players that they want to see out. I know there's disappointment around the performance, there's sadness about things, and I feel bad for the football club, and I feel bad for the fans. You know, the way they feel about so many of their players. But look, there is a silver lining here. You were going to get a good quality manager come in. And it might take some time.
I want Allegri. That's what I'm talking about.
You want Allegri?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, right? I mean, look what he's done with Juve. I mean, he went toe to toe with Real Madrid the other day.
And lost.
Well, he lost. I mean, wasn't really supportive of that penalty, but still, he did quite well.
Yeah, but if you go out in a game like that, I don't feel like there's losing and then there's getting battered by these teams, if that makes sense. He went out narrowly to a more talented squad, if that makes sense. So if I went out the way Juve did, I'd be far less disappointed than my club going out to the way we did to Seville. Yeah. Like that is true. So the way Allegri is not an embarrassment.
I mean, when I saw that Man United going, you lot should have won that. I mean, based on the quality that you had, but Seville took it in the right moment. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's what football is. I agree, but...
Do you think it's realistic for us to get Allegri, though? Do you think that's something that could happen?
It'd be very hard to pull him in. That's the thing. Yeah. It'll be very hard to convince him to say, why don't you come join us, leave Juve. I mean, they've got a good team, Juve, don't get me wrong. I mean, they could challenge for the league. They just don't have that extra bit of mentality to get over that line. That's the thing. But if Allegri brought that in, I mean, if Bellerin was to stay next season, Allegri would not stand him. He'd be pulling him by the hair literally through the changing room and making him play good. And that's what I want.
Yeah, mate, really do appreciate the call. Thank you very, very much.
No problem. Enjoy your day.
Cheers. Mate, maybe one thing with Bellerin, I know he's doing all these modelling stuff and he's doing his education and he's doing a lot of talks and speeches about
what the hell has he got to say?
But really good subjects he's touching on, whether it be, I know he touched on sort of racism and sexism and postmodernism and stuff. With all due respect, that's great to learn. That maybe he should be spending more of that time perfecting his footballing skills, because that's what's making him the multi-millionaire that allows him to do these other things. That's what's giving him the platform to speak at these events and to do the modelling he's doing and to hang around. And I'm not saying it's bad he's doing those things. They're great things. Good. But for me, if I was doing some extracurricular level stuff, right, away from my day job, that was damaging my day job, my company has the right...
Company has the right.
Yeah, sorry, Jay was talking to me. I was in the talk. I couldn't hear nothing. They have the right to say, "Well, what the hell are you doing? Your day job, what we pay you for, is being affected by your outside of work activities." And I look at Bellerin and I think, is there a possibility what he's doing outside of work is affecting him? And I say the same thing about Paul Pogba. So I'm not being biased. Sometimes I think that the dancing and the endorsements and the haircuts and the emojis, that sometimes takes too much focus away from him. Just focus on your football. because that's the reason that you've got that popularity, is because you're a good footballer. Focus on it, hone those skills in. Don't just think you've made it because you've had a good year or two. You know, you didn't see that from Arsenal legends of days gone by, Premier League legends of days gone by. They were 21, 25, 30, and they were still striving every day to be as tough as possible. We've got something for you all, though. In the description below, you will see a link for the Ultimate Football Fan application. Please go and get that downloaded for us. It's massively important. What?
Call us on Discord.
I'm not. Why would I connect my phone? But I'm talking. Sorry, mate. I'm in the middle of talking. I don't know what I got to link it for. Ah, there we go. But it keeps cutting off, so I didn't bother. Anyway. It's just not linking. So yeah, in the description below is the app for the Ultimate Football Fan. Okay, so go and get that downloaded for us. It's massively important to us that we get that done. You'll see the likes of Robbie and myself and Mark Goldbridge from the United, Stan, Flex, 100% Chill. Everybody's on there. Everyone's on there. You go there. Lots of exclusive content as well that you don't get on YouTube. So stuff you cannot get on YouTube is on there. Download it. It's free of charge. The link is in the description below. So big support for us if you can go out there and get that done. Jay, any more calls, mate? We've got some more calls coming through. Nope, I didn't. We'll wait for the next one to come through. Let's have a look at these polls, actually. I know we can't get them up. Wow, look at that. 14,700 votes. Oh, here we go. We'll do the polls after. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
What's going on? It's Tony.
Hello, Tony.
What's going on? You right?
Yeah, very good, mate. You a gooner yourself?
Yeah, gooner, man. Oh, man, gutted.
Yeah. What's on your mind, though, after that game today? Where's your mind at?
Well, first and foremost, I thought so many players played shit, man. I'm disappointed in players. And I think Wenger made the wrong decision not starting Mkhitaryan. I don't understand that. Like, it's basically the last game of the season for us, and he starts him on the bench for Welbeck. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and Mkhitaryan's record in this competition, the Europa League,
outstanding.
Yeah, it's been excellent. So yeah, for me, very weird, very weird indeed that he didn't start him in the game, and he looked fairly dangerous when he came on as well. He really did.
Exactly.
He did well against United the other day and scored a goal. Yeah, very strange decision from the manager there. In terms of one of the Twitter polls that we've put out tonight, we've asked whether Wenger has been a disappointing manager at Arsenal. Yeah. Where's your mindset on that in terms of his entire reign? Are you disappointed with any of it, some of it? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think he was found out, to be honest with you, and this might sound quite harsh, but obviously Wenger came in, he was before his time. Obviously, you know, he changed the game in a lot of ways, and then basically it slowly crept up with him. When the league became more dominant overall, and you started realising that we stopped winning. And basically, when you got rid of, let's say, the George Graham influenced players, the players who had that defensive discipline in them, our whole team just fell apart. So generally, you know, he was great for a while, but let's just be honest, this last 13 years or even more if you're being realistic, he's just been piss poor. You know, and we just have to be honest with ourselves. He's let us down. He's been a great servant, and he's helped us in many ways. But in terms of his tactical qualities, in terms of, you know, the way that he's actually managing games, he's just let us down time and time after again. I mean, Diego Simeone wasn't even on the pitch today. And you could see the difference in the tactical execution between Atletico and Arsenal, and that's embarrassing.
Mate, we're not laughing at you. I don't know what Adam's laughing at. He just cracked up in the studio. I'm not sure. Mate, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans out there do as well. Really appreciate your call, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Why? What did you see?
It's just one of the comments.
Let me see it. I need to see it. I can't see you laugh at that and not know. What was it?
It wasn't even that funny. It's just one of the ones that said DT looks like he's saying something. It's just so childish. It's not even funny. It just caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
That's Stephen. I think I recognise that name.
It's not even that funny. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know Adam's phone. Yeah, it's my phone that's not connecting, so it's still technology. Though.
Am I still connected?
What are we going on? We're going to go on the One Football app. Let's have a look at some of them old Stosticanos.
Is it connected?
Well, mate, you power away. You do it. I'm going to sit back and relax for a bit.
Oh, mate. You're going to make me go through these terrible things.
Yeah, go through the stats.
55% possession to Arsenal, which we knew. We won. Oh, we won more duels. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we won.
That's
more
it.
Duels.
You won more duels. Yes.
Aerial duels as well. They had more corners.
How many shots did you have in that game?
7.
Just 7.
Do you know how many were on target?
1 or 2.
1. 1 shot on target. They had 15 shots. They had 5 on target, and the shot accuracy, it's just not brilliant.
It's Arsene Wenger.
And they had 8 shots inside the box.
Yeah, but touching on one player we spoke about, Griezmann was good tonight, wasn't he?
Griezmann's brilliant. And you know what? I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. I think he is an outstanding, world-class player that would be an addition, not to every team, because I don't think every team would use him correctly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he'd be brilliant to most teams.
Cool.
Yeah, he's not that great.
Let's give you some comments on here. Shut up laughing. They don't like us laughing, some of these people.
Sorry, mate.
I really hate the guy on the right. So unprofessional. I'm not sure if that's you. I'm on the right, really. You're on the right on the screen.
No, that's me.
Why is he unprofessional? Because we laugh. This is...
Yeah, I laugh.
Bruv, this ain't Sky Sports News. There we go. People are still writing DT been arrested. That is such an old joke. Funny when it first came out, but that's it. I can't read it out, that one.
Do you see what I mean? It's just so childish.
Do you guys think not playing Champions League football next season will make it harder to attract those top managers?
Definitely.
It depends how you sell it. It depends how you sell it, because managers, I think all managers and players have an air of themselves that want to create legacy. And let's just say, right, Arsenal, they were 2 years out of the Champions League, sitting in 6th. Fans are unhappy. Imagine you are Allegri or you are Luis Enrique, any of these managers, and you take the job. Let's just say next year you come second and win a trophy. Year after that, you win the Premier League. You're taking it without Champions League football. If you then do have a really good couple of years, you almost become you're loved almost instantly, and you can create yourself a really good legacy. Whereas, if you bottle it and you think, no, I'm not taking it for this reason, someone else can come in and do it. I think the managers want to... It's easier to take over Arsenal now than it was when Fergie left. You're taking over a team and a club and a fan base that are in the doldrums. They're right down...
You can't do any worse.
No. So, and they're going to give them time, unless it's an absolutely, 10 games, 10 defeats or something stupid like that. Whoever comes in as manager is going to get time and support from the fans. I don't think you'll see the likes of... if we look at the Arsenal fan TV group, the likes of Claude and Troops and DT and the like, I don't think you'll see them ranting about a new manager inside the first year. There'll be odd games, they might, but they won't be attacking like the way they are. No, I don't think so. I think they'll give the support there. Right. I really do. You hope so. I mean, you'll definitely get support from Ty. No doubt about it. He'll support the new manager.
I feel like he's so pro Wenger. Is he going to support anybody else?
Can you imagine if Ty next year becomes the anti-manager fan, because it'd be like Wenger, say you guys come 7th, it'd be like, Wenger should have stayed. You guys got rid of Wenger, now we're in 7th. He'll turn against all the new managers to be pro Wenger, and then DT and those guys, they'll become like the new Ties, but reverse. That'd be an interesting, it'd be like a parody world.
It would be weird.
It'd be funny.
Flipping, Ty. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine Ty supporting another manager. He's Wenger through and through, but we'll have to wait.
We should do something with Ty though for charity, right? We should do something where we fundraise, a big amount of money for, say, prostate cancer. But what he has to do, he has to go to an Arsenal game wearing full Tottenham kit. But let's just put it out there. Imagine we put this out there to the public. And say, if we raise £100,000, would you do it, Ty? I think Ty's a really lovely bloke. I think he'd wear a Tottenham shirt to raise, say, 100 grand for prostate cancer. That would be a really good thing to set up, I think.
Because Tottenham headphones as well?
Everything Tottenham, like he does for Arsenal, but only if we raise a certain amount of money for a really good charity, like prostate cancer or something along those lines. Because it'd be funny to watch because of how much he loves Arsenal. Let's see if we can get that done. What do you guys reckon? I'll put it to him. If he says no, then can you imagine? Oh, yeah, he might say no. Oh, last call of the night. Hey, Jay, you're having a nightmare, son. It is you. Who's in charge of the technological stuff? No, who's in charge of the technological stuff? That's your job, baby. That's your job. And after time, these calls don't come through right. Bad workman. Bad workman always blames the tools. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, what would you like to order, sir? Pizza Hut?
This isn't Pizza Hut.
I know, it's a joke.
Terry, you got me.
Did I? Good.
Yeah, no.
What would you like to say, young man?
I mean, it's typical Arsenal. It's typical. I'm just frustrated, a bit heartbroken. You know, the thing that pulled me in is that I thought we'd actually do it. You know, I thought we'd do it for Wenger. We've seen us sort of perform, but it's typical. We just can't finish.
Get angrier.
We just can't finish.
I want you to get angrier. Get angrier, please.
I get sucked in.
Get angrier.
I get sucked in.
Get angrier, please.
Alone,
get angrier.
Come on.
I feel like you're holding back a little bit.
Well, no, I actually thought the team played pretty well, but you know, we lacked that clinical sort of thing. You saw it the other night with Real Madrid. Bayern were by far the better team, but Real Madrid have that vicious streak in them that manages to sort of just finish the game off in those key chances.
You lost me. You lost me. Sorry, there's a noise. Right, when I was out in the States last week, there's a noise. One of the people I was staying with used to make every time he said something weird. She'd go, eh. It was like a really loud, like this. I have to make the noise again. Eh. What do you mean Arsenal? I can't understand. He just said Arsenal played well.
Yeah.
When are people going to realise that having possession, when you're allowed to have possession, isn't playing well? Yeah. You're doing what the team in front of you are letting you do. You know, if you're a counter boxer, Mayweather lets you attack him in boxing because he counter punches. He's a counter boxer. Doesn't mean you dominated him. He's luring you in to complete his tactics. You literally walked into Atletico Madrid's trap. There was nothing good about Arsenal tonight.
I think that's just football literacy. Like, there's a lot of people that know that Mayweather. For me, I'm not even into boxing like that, but I know that Mayweather is a defensive boxer. But I'm pretty sure most people would know that Atletico Madrid play a counter-attacking style of football. So for him to say that we played well, I'm not sure what he was looking at.
And I don't know if you're right, though. You had the BT commentators, ex-professional sportsmen, commentating tonight, footballers, sorry, not sportsmen, but yeah, they are sportsmen, but footballers, saying Arsenal are really doing well and pushing them back. And we're all sitting there, Jay especially, the guy that's messed up the phones tonight, he was like, the commentators are chatting stupid. And he's right. This is what Madrid do. They let you push them back. They're really compact, and then they catch you on the counter-attack. And that's what they did all night. Like, you didn't outplay them. They outplayed you. They outdone you. But I don't think people understand it. But listen, thank you guys very much for tuning in as ever. Please make sure you download the OneFootball app. This will also be available as a podcast in the next hour or two. So make sure you check that out in the description below. Adam, cheers, mate.
No problem.
And that's it. Last big game for Arsenal this year. Yeah, it's over.
It is.
Goodbye, Monsieur Wenger.
Adios.
See you later, guys.
If I'm being honest, at the moment, the atmosphere at the stadium has not improved.
The difference with the hybrid to the Emirates is that this stadium was really built more for corporate, I think.
Back in the day, you used to have the terraces where you could stand up with your mates and be amongst your friends. Nowadays, sing a song, you're told to sit down.
It was so quiet.
How did the empty stadium today?
The atmosphere at the stadium needs help. Let's create two sections in this ground that their job is to sing, to get the place going.